Well, it's another sunny day here in Pattaya and everybody's having fun on the beach. We're in Jomtien Beach, but there's a danger and it's lurking not under the water but actually on top of the water. City Hall have came up with this new safe swim zones, and they've reinforced that project by putting in these new buoys, which they're quite attractive to the eye, but people are playing on them and people still don't know that they're actually meant to swim within the buoyed off area, and they're still swimming in this area here. You can see there's people behind us, predominantly Thais actually. You can tell because they've still got their clothes on. It's not a joke, but that's how Thais swim. But they're in here within all the jet skis and the boats and everything. It seems it's an accident waiting to happen. But actually the accident's happened already. Just a couple of weeks ago in North Pattaya, a tourist was here and okay, he was inebriated. He was on the north end of Pattaya Beach, out on the buoys, and he fell off and he drowned. So what's the answer? Is this an improvement? Is it actually going to help things? Or do we need to take some action? How can we safeguard the safety of, well, not just our tourists, but our expats and the Thai community? There's no information. Nobody knows what these things are for. So let's have a walk along the beach, look at the pros, look at the cons, and we're going to speak to an old guy who's known as Koto, the keeper of the ocean. Actually, his real name is Jerry Erasmus. Okay, now to get the lowdown and sort of local knowledge as to whether these buoys are a thumbs up or a thumbs down is a guy who's been walking this beach for, well, a hell of a long time. It's our old friend Jerry Erasmus. Jerry, nice to see you again, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. Nice seeing you again.
Okay, now, I say you've been walking this beach for years. How many years now?
This beach around 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of changes in that time. Some that are good and maybe some that are not so good.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So today we're talking about these safe swim zones and the installation of these new buoys that they've placed in the water, which it's a bit controversial, isn't it? Because there was this gentleman who's within 2 weeks of these being erected, a guy sadly drowned in North Pattaya. And is it an accident waiting to happen again? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I have actually even stated it's an accident waiting to happen. There's been people that have been hurt on these swim buoys on this side too. Mm-hmm. And the problem is at nighttime, a lot of these people go out after they've been partying a little bit and they slip and fall, hit their head and they fall off the far side. They're going to drown. Nobody sees them. Mm-hmm. There's no lights on them at nighttime. They need to be illuminated. Mm-hmm. And there needs to be, until they change them, which they will, a 24/7 watch on all of them.
Okay. Well, you say a 24/7 watch. I'm pleased to see today they've got some lifeguards here, and I have to say that's the first time I've seen them on any of these elevated towers, which always strikes me as a bit bizarre because the one thing that's very inexpensive in Thailand is labour. So, what's the hell the point of building these towers and they don't have anybody on them? But anyway, that's a good thing. But are they going to be there all day? Are they going to be there all night? I doubt it.
Right. I doubt it also, and that's when I think most of the accidents that are going to happen is at nighttime in the dark after people have partied a little bit. And if this was a calm, smooth lake, these things are fantastic. If it was just for boat people and it was at a harbor, this is nice because they know what they're doing. Okay. But out here for all walks of life to play on, non-swimmers, there's no instructions. There's no signs to say stay off. It definitely is an accident waiting to happen. Okay,
now we're filming opposite Soi 7 in Jomtien Beach. Now, this is the area that's famous for the windsurfing, the world champion windsurfing, which indicates, of course, that there's a great breeze, so there's great currents. But as you say, there's no signs to let people know, hey, it might look nice, and actually it's a pretty clean beach, but it's pretty dangerous out there.
If I had my say, it's like these trucks that go by all day on advertising Muay Thai and other things. If they had on a tape every 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes, once in Russian, once in German, once in English, or once in Thai, saying, please stay off the swim buoys. Please don't flick your cigarette butts. Children could pick them up and get ill. Please pack it in, pack it out. Just some sensible, easy things. A few more dumpsters. And like I say, there's got to be a way to keep them off these swim buoys, which I hear there is going to be one within 2 weeks.
Okay, well, there's a woman, just look behind you. There's a woman here with a child strapped to her back.
Yeah.
And she's going up there now. You know, what if we had this huge gust of wind?
Yeah. Or just a quick swell coming through here. She can slip and fall. And before she could get that off, and if she even knows how to swim, the baby could drown before somebody could get to her.
Yeah. Well, I heard an interesting statistic recently that 47% of child mortalities in Thailand are due to drowning because kids, and then therefore adults, don't learn to swim.
Yes, true. And this should be in school. Since we all live near water, they should learn how to swim.
Okay. Yeah. So it's quite apparent that the new boys are they're quite cute to look at, and people seem to think they're a game. You know, it's like it's a knockout or something.
Right. Yeah, it's something to play on, dive off of, play tag. It's gotten ridiculous and totally out of hand. Now,
I referred to it earlier as the safe swim zone or the swim safe zone. But then, just here, which is not the safe swim zone, well, there's as many people in there as there is in this part. So it's not working, is it? Because why?
Jet ski that comes in here. Well, because they like to go straight down from where their parents are. It's like parents keep an eye on them. The parents don't want to have to walk over there. So they say play here. You get one of these renters coming in with a jet ski that doesn't know how to ride one, going to kill one of these kids.
Okay. But do you think they understand that they should be swimming in this part?
Education. We need to educate them. I've got signs everywhere, but that's not good enough. There needs to be, like I say, on a tape playing, talking short time, not constantly going on, but explaining to them what they need to do, what they should do. You know,
it reminds me of the movies you used to watch when cars pulled up at the airports. In America mostly, and it would say, this is a dropping off zone only. There was like this automated voice going around, and if you're going to be here more than 20 seconds, we're going to clamp you. But you're right. It's like there needs to be some information. I mean, at least in Thai, for goodness sake.
Yeah. At least in Thai, and yes, because the Thais are kind of what set examples. The Falang sees them throwing trash down, everything. They follow. That's the monkey see, monkey do thing, which happens all over the world, actually.
Okay. Now back to the boys. They've separated them, which I believe is so that people won't run along them, meaning that hopefully they don't see it as a game. But they're not that far apart. People could still jump across, so it doesn't seem to be working again.
No, they're not going to separate them this way. They're going to separate them this way. They're too attached. They're going to make them a single. There'll still be the ones that are going to gamble and jump around on them. But I think the majority of the people are going to stay off. Okay. The expense of these things are horrendous. And I hear as I speak to them, and the gentleman that's running this, he's 10 people shy of having enough people around to keep an eye on these due to budget. By separating these, you can do twice as many swim areas. Yeah. So you're cutting the price in half. And the other big thing, which they didn't do for the last 3 years on the old swim buoys, is preventive maintenance. These things fell apart because nobody was taking care of them. Or they do it like the leprechauns and mini hoonies do in Hawaii. You never see them. They come out at nighttime and do it. And it's not happening.
You say these are expensive, and they're very substantial compared to the old ones. Yeah. But I would imagine that some of our viewers will be thinking, yeah, they're expensive because somebody wants the contract, and it's all money, and it's not. Is it about safety, or is it just about business?
Right. And some time ago, Kun Yai, the owner of a Surf Kitchen restaurant, showed me the new type buoy that they were going to put in, which was beautiful. I took a picture. I was looking for it to show you. But this wasn't his idea. This came out of Bangkok. This came out of the powers from Bangkok. And I hope at least the gentleman was here talking to him, who's supposed to be the one who organized this whole thing, and said he's 10 people short of getting everything handled right. And within 2 weeks, these are going to be split into a single buoy going around. Okay. Now, as far as keeping people off, I don't think that's going to do the job 100%, but I think it will slow up a lot of them because it's not going to be that easy to walk on.
Okay. And what about, you mentioned earlier about, maybe they need to have lights on them. That sounds like another contract, It sounds like, who wins out of this? Why don't they have a system where these are closed off at night?
Then people can just walk out around that. That's not going to stop.
There's not an easy answer, but it seems that they've created the problem by using these style.
Oh, definitely they did. They definitely, like I say, they're lovely to look at, but they're in the wrong place, an ocean. On a lake, these would be ideal. And if it just had to do with a boat mooring area, it would be it was gated community. You walked through the gate, you had a key, and then you had your boats out there, and these were walking around to your dinghy or whatever. This to me, it scares me. I think even before this, which is going to happen in 2 weeks, happens, there's going to be some more things that happen. Sad to say.
Well, it was terrible. I mean, there was some controversy when they installed this, and then when that gentleman sadly drowned, that was just like, oh my God, you can't believe this can happen, And the thing is, we live here, and we love Thailand, and we don't want to see that kind of thing. Nobody wants to see an unnecessary death. But of course, the knock-on effects in terms of the bad publicity for Pattaya, it's like, oh, Pattaya's in the news again. But it's never for the good stuff.
Yeah, true story. Just sad but true. Very sad but true. From the jet ski problems to the swim buoy problems, it is a shame. It is a shame, and it is a lovely country to live in, and the people are lovely. I enjoyed it. I'm here till the end, but things like this, I have to bark and make noise because I see the problems. And like you say, working this beach for 12 years and seeing the things that happen. The old buoys, they'd break up, we'd get flotation foam and plastic all over. I've taken out hundreds upon hundreds of those buoys, 30% of them full of barnacles, which are razor sharp. There is no preventive maintenance on those at all. Whatever they do with these, they've got to be an inspection, they've got to take care of them, they've got to clean off the bottom, check the hookups so they don't break apart. Preventive maintenance is another biggie. You got to keep an eye on them, keep the people off them, and have preventative maintenance. Then
maintenance, I'm sad to say, this is something that comes up in so many of the stories that I've covered, where they've said, yeah, we had this and then it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, it wasn't maintained.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it maintained? There isn't that follow-up procedures put in place. So again, it just makes you think, oh yeah, it's just about a quick win situation.
Yeah.
But in the end, nobody wins, and people are hurting themselves, and sometimes fatally.
I've been to Pattaya City Hall hundreds of times with pictures. The few times I've been able to talk to the mayor, person to person, that same day, what I talked to him about was taken care of. But to actually get into talking to him personally, you've got to jump through a lot of hoops. Yeah. But he is very concerned. He's very interested. Kun Yai at Surf Kitchen is very concerned about these, feels very bad what happened. So there's a lot of people concerned. It's just getting to whoever it was that you can make the change. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, City Hall, if you're watching, and we really hope you are, this isn't a negative thing. We're not trying to create a storm in a teacup. We're just trying to show you that what you're doing is a step in the right direction, but actually you need to go a lot further. You need to, as Jerry said, you need to find a way to make it safe for these people. Great, you've got the lifeguards here, but what's going to happen at night? Because that's, as he says, is when people party a little bit, they get drunk, and then they go out and then hurt themselves. Also, there's still no signs up. Why is there no sign saying this is the safe swim zone? You're meant to swim within the buoys. You're not meant to be playing on top of them. It's not a game. You're playing with your life.
And a picture, because there's so many different languages to deal with, but a picture of somebody climbing on with the cross through it.
That's it.
Yeah. And 500 baht fines. They get on it, they pay 500 baht. Yeah. You got to, unless somebody's got to reach in their pocket, 80% of the people aren't going to care. Yeah.
Well, you man who obviously cares. There's 2 dogs at our feet here, and the reason is he's got. Show us what you got in your pocket, Jack.
Yes. These are little treats I give him.
How many dogs you fed today?
About 100 dogs today, right around 100 dogs.
All right, listen, that interview's for another time, but if you're along Jomtien Beach, have a look about what we're talking about, and if you see this guy, stop and shake his hand, because he's doing great work looking after these dogs, cleaning up the beach every single day here.
Yes, every day.
He's only 23, I won't give you any.
I drink a lot. That's why I look so old. A lot of drugs, a lot of booze.
Okay, so have a look at these boys yourself. Come down and have a look at the beach. See what's happening with these people here. There's no quick answer to this. We're just trying to spread the word. Be careful, look after yourselves, and if you're coming to the beach here, get into the safe swim zones, and if you're going to hire a jet ski, for goodness sake, know what you're getting into. My advice would be take your phone out and photograph the jet ski before you take it out. Make sure the guy sees you doing that, because otherwise you might be getting ripped off for 20, 30, 40,000 baht.
Another good example, you got this speedboat out here that tows the banana. You had all these kids swimming around. He's got the prop going. It's just, they got to make some heavy-duty changes here.
Okay. Well, there you go, Paddy. You're working in the right direction. Just try a little bit harder. This is Paul for PMTV. See you again. Thanks, mate.
Aloha.
Cheers. Aloha. Thanks so much.